Welcome to the Countdown. We are at Humpty's restaurant today. My two guests, Corey Weir from Football Manitoba and Mike Staunton from Shaw TV. And also you have a show Off the Page on Shaw TV. Tell us about that.
That's right. It's called Off the Page. We look at comic books and their effects on and from popular culture. We're actually going to be in the studio in September shooting the rest of the episodes and get her on the air right away.
And Corey, a lot of local football stuff to talk about. Fill us in.
Tons. We're well underway of playing, amateur football, regular season. We're going into playoffs are coming up already, which is something that is great. And so go out and support your team, your local team, and watch some great football.
You sound like Putty from Seinfeld there. Got to support the team.
Exactly.
All right, let's start the countdown. We can start the clock. Our first topic, guys, the Blue Bombers coach Mike O'Shea says Robert Marve is the guy to replace Drew Willy as he is injured. He wants to see more urgency from his team, and he's right about that because as September rolls in, them falling behind Calgary and Edmonton is becoming more of a reality, and they want to avoid that, obviously. Your thoughts on the Bombers, and how much of a factor is Drew Willy being out of this lineup?
I think it's a huge factor. I mean, he is their go-to guy. He is the one that, that leads the pack. But I believe that Robert Marve is one of those guys that can step in to be a leader. When he says he's like a rookie, he is. He essentially is a rookie. Other than taking a few snaps here, a few snaps there, I think that, you need to treat it like a rookie mentality. But I think he's ready to make the jump. I really do. I think he's a better option than Braum. And that's not taking anything away from Braum, but I think that the mobility of him and the uncertainty of our offensive line, I think we need a quarterback that can get out of the pocket quickly and still throw on the run, just like Michael Vick.
Yeah, that's right.
No, and I totally agree. I think I don't know that Marve is the long-term answer, but I do think that he's a better answer than what we've had lately. Our offensive line really needs to step up because, they open too many holes for any quarterback that plays with them. And I think for the fact that he has the coaching staff's confidence and approval, that's big. And, he's said in interviews before that he loves playing in this weather. It's very much like Florida for him there lately. Yeah. So, you know what, I think going forward, yeah, he's the guy.
Cool. Let's move on to the Blue Jays now. The Toronto Blue Jays are red hot. They are as hot as a Humpty's pan scrambler. You know what I'm saying? They have had a tremendous month of August. Record-setting appearances in Anaheim versus that series against the Angels there. They had 36 runs on 48 hits in a 3-game series, breaking records. That's unbelievable. Even their 7, 8, 9 positions in the lineup, they're getting on base consistently. So by the time you get back to the top of the order with Tulowitzki, Donaldson and Bautista, it's a cakewalk. It's been phenomenal to watch. Hopefully it continues this month here in September. Let's talk a little about Donaldson versus Trout for that AL MVP. What do you guys think?
Oh, totally. I think it's an exciting race so far. And having seen them head-to-head already, I'm picking Donaldson. He's got the heart in it. He's got a great supporting cast around him, so, he's getting guys on base in front of him, which is great. He's really pushing up the numbers. He's amazing defensively. The push to get into the All-Star game was just crazy. I definitely see him taking home the honors.
Okay. Yeah, you look at Donaldson, and this is a totally different player. You look at him playing these days, and he has a chip on his shoulder. Mr. Bean really looked like Mr. Bean making that trade for Brett Lowry and company. But I think that you look at Donaldson with that chip on his shoulder, and he says, there's nothing stopping me. Right. I'm going to continue playing. But he's not playing for himself. He's playing for a team, he's playing for a city, and he's playing for a country, something that's bigger than what he's ever played for. Right. And I think with that behind him, he can really continue down this path of the next 30, 40 games and keep on pace to win an MVP for sure.
When you talk about Donaldson versus Trout, Donaldson had such a great month of August. Like, he was on fire. As good as Trout's numbers were, his month of August was horrible, right? And his numbers obviously still stand up, but you're right. Donaldson is such a team player. You can tell he has that energy to kind of take that team to the next level, so we hope it happens. Stroman, if that guy came back, obviously there shouldn't be too many expectations for him, obviously, but that's a welcome addition if it actually happens. And they've got the Yankees twice again in September, so it's going to be a very interesting month of baseball, and hopefully they can squeeze into the playoffs. The greatest thing, I think, now, not that we're talking about MVP for Donaldson, But now we're talking about possibly winning the division, not just getting into the playoffs, but and not just getting that wild card, but actually defeating the Yankees. I wanted to ask you guys quickly, as good as the Yankees have been, and as good as the Blue Jays have been, do you guys see the Blue Jays as the favorite to win the division at this point? For some reason, I always think that the Yankees, they're the favorite for some reason. They've had more success than the Blue Jays in the last 20 years, obviously. So I always see the Yankees more as the favorite and the Blue Jays more of an underdog, despite the results on, the sports page every morning.
I think that the tables have definitely turned in the Jays' favor because, I mean, they've been coming up with such gusto throughout the season. The Yankees are getting older. I think even from the fan base, it's just more exciting to watch the Jays play. They're pulling victories from behind. The Yankees are just kind of plodding through the season right now, and they don't seem to have that urgency anymore.
Right.
So I'm picking the Jays on that one.
Cool. Let's move on to DeGrasse. This guy is a 20-year-old athlete who won a bronze medal in Beijing there at the World Track and Field Championships. This guy has a very interesting dilemma right now because he has a scholarship at USC, so he's still an amateur type player. He earned bonuses at this World Track and Field Championships in Beijing. If he claims those bonuses, he's forfeiting his amateur status. Now, there's a lot of people saying that there's a huge payday to come from sponsors like Nike and whoever else, a shoe deal. We're talking like $700,000 possibly. What do you think he should do? Do you think he should turn pro now? Does he play it safe and wait? Because I tell you, if he wins at the Rio Olympics next year in 2016, he's getting paid no matter what. It's a very interesting dilemma, right? What do you guys think?
You know what, as far as I'm concerned, play it safe, get into it, and just really build yourself up. If you go pro too fast, that could be a bad thing for him as well. So I think really just build it up, get into the Olympics, and show us what you can do.
I think you have to believe in yourself too, right? Like he has tremendous upside, and if you have that belief that you're going to be successful no matter what, you got to kind of go with that gut and just know that you'll be successful money-wise eventually.
I think when you look at it from a student standpoint, this kid's 20 years old, and I call him a kid because he's still in school. He's still going to university, but you know what? University's always going to be there. The dilemma he looks at is, does he take the paycheck now? I think so. I think you take the payday now.
Really?
You're looking at a 29-year-old Usain Bolt, where he's aging.
Yes, for sure.
You can get up there. You could be the next phenom. And if you look at Bolt's career, I mean, I'm not comparing him to the greatest, 100-meter dash in the world, but I think that he is a close second and third. You can always go back to school and finish that. Go pro now, take the money that's there, and go back to school later on. Why not go pro now? You have a chance to be a pro. Pro.
That's right.
Go be a pro.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure it's much more tempting for him than it is for us here at Humpty's discussing it. But yes, I understand. Thank you very much for your time, guys. That is the countdown. Corey Weir and Mike Staunton. Thanks very much.
Thank you.